Hey guys, this is Matt from MG Modern Watches, and I'm here with another unboxing video today. And today we have something a little bit interesting. It's a Ochstin chronograph, which is a homage to the Zenith El Primero. Now, you don't often see homages to brands like Zenith, which are well known in the watch community, but not really well known with the public at large. And I didn't really know too much about them or really anything about them until I got into watches. But you know, that's part of the fun of being into this hobby, learning more about different brands and watches and companies and designs and what's considered an icon and what's well regarded for whatever reason. And Zenith El Primero is definitely a champion watch in the watch community. It's a watch that was introduced in 1969 and is well regarded for its chronograph movement in particular, which is beautiful. And so we're going to take a look at a homage to it today. So this is an Ochstin watch, which you can find on a number of sites online, the typical AliExpress, GearBest, places like that, where you order it from China, and you get the watch in 3 to 5 weeks. But I actually found this one on Amazon. And I ordered this. It was a little bit more than it would have been on the foreign sites, but I just wanted to get it sooner and was willing to pay that little bit of premium. Now again, most of these homage watches they review are pretty inexpensive, but they, you know, still we always look for a bargain, save whatever we can, right? So this watch was, I believe, $25 on Amazon. I got it in 2 days with Amazon Prime shipping, which is awesome. Can't say that for most of the watches I purchased. You can find it on AliExpress for about $15 if you look. But here's the watch, and you can see it's pretty beautiful. And full disclosure, this is actually a watch that I've unboxed and worn for a few days. The reason for that is I had done the unboxing video when I actually unboxed it, and there was since the video wasn't going too well, I tried to change the strap out and try to do all this stuff, and so I thought it would be better just to wear it for a couple days to give you a little bit more feedback on it, and then do this. But this is pretty much what the packaging came like. It's a pretty simple box, some styrofoam nicely packed, instruction manual, tag, and the watch. So this is a quartz movement, stainless steel case, leather strap, stitched leather, signed buckle, and it's a quartz watch, so solid case back. It says 3 ATM, water resistant. That's like for washing dishes. I wouldn't do anything more than that. Definitely not go swimming, probably not going to take a shower with it even, but this is a watch. And you can see the classic Zenith El Primero look where you have the white chapter ring, black around it. This is a silver dial, sometimes you'll see them in white. And you'll see a number of color combinations in the original Zenith El Primero with the subdials. Typically it's something similar to this where it's like a light, dark, and a blue. And this one actually is a pretty good representation. It's not an exact match. You know, there's only the wording Ochstin at the top. The Zenith El Primero has a little bit more text at the top, and you know that's usually important to me. But given the lack of options with a El Primero homage, this comes pretty close, or as close as you're going to get, pretty much. So this is a watch. It's 42 millimeters case diameter and 12 millimeter case thickness, 44 millimeters lug to lug. Good proportions. I'm usually not a fan of these stitched leather straps, but I have to say after wearing it for a couple days, I actually enjoy it. It's actually very comfortable, looks great. And this is a rare watch. When I first unboxed it, I wasn't the biggest fan of the look of it. The dial is not the best. The subdials, the text, everything looks a little bit cheap. It's just to be honest, it's not the highest quality. But again, you're kind of getting what you pay for at this price point, and there's not too many of these homages out there, so I thought I'd bite the bullet anyway. And I'm pleasantly surprised. Just one of those where I got out of the box, I wasn't the biggest fan. I saw pictures online, I thought it looked great, and so I was a little bit disappointed when I first opened it. But wearing it on the wrist, I actually really like it. I like the way it looks on the wrist, and it's probably the first time I've had the experience where I wasn't thrilled when I first opened something and then wore it for a day or two and really enjoyed it. It's really comfortable to wear. The strap is great, 20mm strap. Again, I tried to change it out in the previous video. I had a 19mm strap and it just looked ridiculous. I think at some point I'm going to go with a brown crocodile alligator leather, which you can see the El Primero in that combination. So I probably will change the strap at some point when I get a 20mm strap, but for now this is great. The surprising thing is the chronograph actually works. It's an hour chronograph, so if you start the chronograph, you can see this bottom subdial starts 60 seconds, and then over here there's a 60-minute indicator on the left subdial. So it actually works. So going out to lunch, you can time your hour for lunch. It's great. Use the bottom pusher to reset it. Of course, pull out the crown one step to set the date. The date is in the bottom subdial, and you know that I love watches that have a date complication. You can also see this same watch in different configurations online. Sometimes the date configuration is kind of at the date complications at the between 4 and 5 o'clock on the side. I actually like this in the bottom. It actually looks more like the actual El Primero. And so I was actually surprised that that worked. And there are a couple details, even though I wasn't thrilled with the overall look at first. There are some details. You can see the seconds hand has this little star at the bottom, which is the Zenith logo. I believe a lot of the actual Primeros have a red seconds hand, but it's nice that this bright yellow is kind of this unique color that adds to the look of the watch. And the little star at the end looks like is a great little detail you have. The blue subdial here is a 24-hour watch, 24-hour time indication, so that'll change as you set the watch. Again, pull out the crown fully to set the time. And yeah, so again, to have even though it's a quartz movement, to have a 24 to have a date complication, 24-hour complication, it's pretty great for 25 bucks for a watch that looks great. And I'm going to put on strap on my wrist, and we can see what it looks like. Again, the strap's a little long for me, but I'm going to just push this down a little bit just to kind of tuck this in, and that's usually how I wear it. And it actually looks really great on wrist again. I don't know if you're seeing it, but for me, it looks better on wrist than it does when I pulled it out of the box. So you can see the subdials pop a little bit. Again, it's not the highest quality dial, but there's a little sheen to the dial itself, kind of like a white silverish, and the subdials have a sheen to them, which is nice. The case has a nice thickness, a nice weight to it. The strap is heavy. The stitching's nice. It's very comfortable to wear, and again, the sign buckle is a nice little touch too. Again, if I switch out the strap, I'm probably gonna keep the buckle. I really like the look, and it's really, really comfortable to wear. Nice to have that chronograph for an hour, going out for lunch, or trying to time something at home. It's pretty great so far. So far, I'm enjoying this watch. Would recommend it. As long as you don't mind that it's a quartz movement. And yeah, this year I've been trying to get into a little bit more interesting homages, so not the typical Rolex Omega homages you see everywhere, but just more interesting brands. And again, part of this hobby is learning about the history of watches and the history of different brands and companies. And Zenith is known for its accuracy. It's known for its beautiful chronograph movement, and this kind of gives you that look and feel with the colored subdials that are overlapping, and it's a nice little piece. So hopefully you enjoyed this unboxing video, and if you have any comments, leave them in the comments. Again, please subscribe to the video, follow my Instagram, which is mg_modern_watches, and hopefully you'll tune in for the next one. Thanks.